you've no objection? Are you going to say the real problem is the Jewish state? Are you going to say you've no objection? Be serious. That the real problem is the Jewish state? Come on, be serious.
So the Jewish state doesn't have nuclear weapons? The Jewish state doesn't have nuclear weapons? Well, now, I appeal again to the fair-mindedness and intelligence of the audience. Well, now, I appeal again to the fair-mindedness and intelligence of the audience. Did I imply it? No, but...
Did I not begin with in any way imply it?
No, but...
Did I not begin with about my long record of work about this, my defence of the Israeli dissidents? About my long record of work about this, my defence of the Israeli dissidents who published the news about Israel's illegal... My point was directed specifically to you. I said, does this in your mind specifically to you? I said, does this in your mind make or not the destruction of human rights in Islamic countries okay? Well, that's progress of a kind.
No.
Okay, let's hear from Walid.
Well, that's progress of a kind.
This is, I think, highlights the really... This is, I think, highlights the personally intractable situation that now confronts the world. I think, personally intractable situation that now confronts the world. In dealing with Iran here today, that the UN is still arguing that they're not developing here today, that whatever you think about arguing that they're not developing weapons. There is a problem whatever you think about that. You do get questions like this. Whether there is a problem because you agree with Christopher. You do get questions like this. Whether or not lack of moral seriousness about agree with Christopher that you're always going to get there's a lack of moral seriousness about that question. The conversation turns to Iran. It is going to be deflected. The conversation turns to Iran, and so the problem is going to be deflected. That if you're interested in disarming, and so the problem is Iran. That if you're interested in somehow disarming that regime, Iran, it's very hard to do that in isolation without also engaging in some do that in isolation without also that's going to bring Israel in some kind of agreement. Of course, the US who also Israel in nuclear weapons. And encouraged by the US, who also Obama is talking nuclear weapons about a nuclear free world. Encouraged by the fact that President Obama is talking about a nuclear free world, presided over the UN Security Council this week. The UN first time presided over the UN Security Council this week. I think the vote to rid the world of nuclear weapons was unanimous. That's all the vote to rid the world of nuclear weapons was unanimous. That's all good. And that is now that the really tough politics starts. And that is with an Iranian regime that, frankly, probably sees very little Iranian regime that, frankly, to try to disarm probably sees very little incentive. It's cut every reason to remain as evil, less evil. It's cut every reason to remain as evil. Israel is going to have to be part of that discussion, whether they like it. Israel is going to have to be part of that discussion, whether they like it. I just can't see how there's a way forward. Whether the US likes it or not, without that, I just can't see how there's a way forward.
Tony, sorry, implied in both what Walid said and the lady questioner, implied in both the idea that Iran said and the lady entitled to have nuclear weapons is the idea that Iran Israel is entitled to have nuclear weapons. No, that's not what I said at all. The Iranian government, don't let's forget, says well doesn't want the Iranian government. Don't let's forget. Says it so if it turns out they are, it's not a problem to do with Israel. It's to do with them breaking every undertaking they've ever made with Israel. It's to do with them breaking every undertaking they've ever made at the United Nations Party. Every undertaking they've ever made to the European Union negotiators. It means that every undertaking they've ever made to the European Union negotiators. It means that and yet international law, when Mr. Ahmadinejad completely tests missiles, he says this is part of our. When Mr. Ahmadinejad tests missiles, he says this is their party, their proxy party Hezbollah. I've been to its rallies. Their party, their proxy party Hezbollah. I've been to its rallies. Put on the flag. Do you know what the symbol of the party now is? With the threat to the Jews written underneath it. Actually, when you go to meetings of the American Jewish Committee, actually, when you go to meetings of the American Jewish Committee,
just I'm going to go to another question which is related. Hold on, we're going to hear from Walid, and I'm going to go to another question which is related.
I think that's what I am saying is the real policy of dealing. But what I am saying is that the real Iranian regime of dealing in the position of the Iranian regime, for the Iranian regime, such a great yourself in the position of the Iranian regime, that in a sense now becomes such a perpetuate that formed regime deformity. That in a sense it has to perpetuate kind of the logic of those deformity regimes. In order to survive, that's kind of the logic of those. They are now in a position where it's just going to be very hard to create the political environment. They are now in a position where it's just going to be very hard to create political environment. Now, whether or not you want to say that Israel without dragging Israel in. Now, whether or not you want to say that Israel's better, whatever, that to me is not is equivalent to Iran's worse, better, whatever. That to me is not get that change as far as real politics is concerned. Without incorporating Israel. How are you going to get that change?
Christopher, just without incorporating Israel in put a line under this. Christopher, just one question and a brief answer if you can. If you could, one question and a brief answer if you can.
I can be terse if I have to. Of a brief answer.
Okay, we'll answer this tersely.
I can be terse
Israel, of course. Okay, we'll answer this tersely. Israel, of course, did try and weapons by bombing Iraq a reactor. Would it be justified in your opinion for bombing a reactor? Would it be justified in your opinion for them to do the same?
What Israel did to the Iraq reactor was what the Iranians had tried to do. What Israel did to the Iraq reactor with their own what the Iranians had tried to do. The Iranians had a huge sigh of relief a couple of months before. The Israelis pulled off. Had a raid they couldn't bring off themselves, and the Israelis pulled off. A raid they couldn't bring off themselves and disarm Saddam Hussein. There are a lot of people in the Sunni Arab world believe the Iranian hope that the Israelis turn, but they can't say so in public any more than the Iranians could before. My own view is that Israel both cannot and should not. My own view is that Israel both cannot and should not.
Okay, well, we're going to move on again on... Well, actually, look, you've had your hand up for a while. I'm going to take your question. Lady in the front there. You've had your hand up for a while. I'm going to take your question. Lady in the front there.
Look, my one question is basically, or my one comment in Islam, I just like so many times you've brought up women in Islam. I just like the credit that Islam gives women a lot of rights. Muslim scholars we over and over give Islam women in Islam through the Quran. We over and over give Islam women in Islam through the Quran. I may not say the Quran gives women a lot of rights, and I need that to be heard. I need it to give everyone to understand and hear that. I am a young Muslim woman myself. Everyone to understand and hear that. I am a young Muslim woman myself. Look you in the eye. I sit before you. I do have my rights. And I can speak to you. And when I go to Iran, I'm actually Iranian as well. So when I go to Iran, I'm actually Iranian as well. So when I go to Iran, I also have my rights. I need it to be heard. Gives us our rights. The Quran, people, individuals in countries, and people who represent people, individuals in countries, and they may do the wrong thing to our religion, may not stand in front and show us the wrong thing to and preach us religion, stand in front and show us religion.
We're going to take that as a comment, a very passionate one of that. All right, okay, we're going to take that as a comment.
No, we're not. No, we're not going to take it as a comment. Well, no, we're not. No, we're not going to take it as a comment. I can see your face. I can see your hair, and I can see you sitting in an audience with young gentlemen. No, you can't. Don't you tell me you know you cannot.
I can in Iran.
No, you can't. No, you cannot.
I can in Iran.
I couldn't see your hair.
I can in Iran because my veil would be
I couldn't see your hair.
My hair would come out because my veil would be little. My hair would be maybe covered a little bit. It's just to cover your head to be modest.
It's a shame for spoil hair to be the perfect
It's just to cover your head to be modest.
It's a shame for spoil hair to be the perfect
Steve would be the they're talking about this cheap Josie would be that when you bring talking about you're the only one making it
if you say that you're the only one making it you're being beaten and raped every day when you say that they have their rights. You're being beaten and raped every day when you say that they have their rights in this country.
Okay,
okay.
We're nearly out of time. We're watching Q&A live. We're nearly out of time. We're watching Q&A live. If you'd like to join the audience, register on our website. We have one last question. abc.net.au/Q&A. We have one last question. It comes from Pam.
Many non-believers facing death change their minds. Many non-believers facing death. Is that fear? Change their minds about.
Okay, we're going to have quick answers from everybody. Frank Brennan.
Or comfort.
Okay, we're going to have quick answers from everybody. Frank Brennan. Henderson.
I would say exactly the same. It's again what I said before. Where there is no meaning, that's their comfort. There's even supposed to be a God gene. That's their comfort. And I don't understand it totally, and some part of me does. And I don't understand it totally, I would say I agree with me does. So fear and comfort. I would say I agree with
let's not ignore it's a perfectly rational decision to make at that point. Well, let's not ignore it's a perfectly rational decision to make at that point. You're on your deathbed, there's absolutely no point not believing God on that. You're on your deathbed, there's absolutely no point not believing God on that. You may as well jump on a team that it's wrong, who can? You may as well jump on a team that if it's wrong, who can?
Unless you're from a team that, God knows. I mean, unless you're from a team that...
When Voltaire was dying, a priest came and said... When Voltaire was dying, a priest came and said, you should renounce the devil. And he said, there's no time to make an end. It's a religious falsification. It's a religious falsification that very famously didn't and was witnessed at the end. David Hume, James Boswell, famously didn't and was witnessed. Most of us go to our James Boswell not if we don't. If it is, most of us go to our fear or comfort. If we don't, things are equally delusory as religion is fear or comfort. Then both of these things are equally delusory as religion is itself.
I think what we've. We've proven, I think, tonight, this kind of discussion is worth having. We've proven, I think, tonight, I'm sorry to this kind of discussion is worth having. Please thank our panellists, Frank Brennan, Christopher Hitchens, Sally Warhart, Waleed Ali, and Anne Henderson. Sally Warhart, Waleed Ali, and Anne Henderson. All right. Next week. All right. Next week, another iconoclastic panel, including the ruined transfer Adman Todd Sampson, the Labour transfer Adman Todd Sampson, the Labour Party's Belinda Neal, the Liberal Party backbench rebel Corey Bernardi, the Liberal Party backbench rebel Corey Bernardi, So join us next Thursday for another great Q&A. Bye then. Good night. So join us next Thursday for another great Q&A. Good night.